PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, C-A-J-U-N, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with another PWCC tutorial video. So this is like PWCC Fanatics Vault and Marketplace 101, where I'm just kind of showing you some easy ways that you can use the PWCC Vault to do some things that you may not have thought about. It's sort of my inventory management system, and again, I don't want that to sound insensitive, like I'm a flipper, because you guys have watched enough of me, hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours by now, but hours and hours of how I collect. You guys know I do buy and sell trading cards, but you know, the end game and the ultimate goal here is to kind of grow the collection, right? Grow the collection with the exact cards that I want and curate my collection and always be moving in a forward direction. So what I'm going to do today's video is simply about, a lot of people don't know this, you don't need to have the card in your hand to sell your card on eBay. You can simply ship the card straight from your PWCC Fanatics Vault to the buyer, whether you sell it on eBay or MySlabs or Instagram, Facebook, or if you get a deal done at a card show and you know, you've got a reputation and people know you're not going anywhere and they vetted you and you're like sitting at a dealer table at a card show and you're like, well, look, I like that card. It's a $3,000 card. Well, the guy's like, well, are you open to trades? Yeah, I'm open to trades. What do you got? Well, boom. Here's my entire collection in my PWCC Vault. There's my name, there's my address, there's my PWCC Vault number. It's obviously mine, it's legit. Here's my ID, you know, that is me. Those are my cards. And by now, most people, you know, well, for me, I guess most people have heard my big mouth, so they know that if I show them a card, I own the card. But what I'm getting at is you can do deals and sell cards without having them in your physical possession. You let PWCC Fanatics Vault hold the card, insure the card, protect the card, upload the images of the card. You share those images. For instance, I shared a bunch of Shaquille O'Neal cards that I am liquidating. Why? Because I'm going to go buy a Porsche. No, of course not. I'm going to buy Jordan cards, and I'm trying to pay off the balance on this loan for the cross-country collection. If you don't know what that is, go check out the playlist. So I got a deal done with the great David Owens of Riverfront Collectibles, one of the best dealers around. Awesome dude. Always look forward to seeing him at the National. I wish I saw him at more shows, but I just don't get out as much as most. But David is Riverfront Collectibles. We've done a deal for Shaquille O'Neal cards in the past. In fact, we did a really big trade where I sent Shaquille O'Neal stuff to him. He sent Michael Jordan stuff back to me. He probably robbed me. He knows he did, but no, I'm just kidding. It was a very fair, equitable, and very quick, efficient deal. And so we've got another deal. I reached back out to him and I was like, are you sure you don't want this Shaquille O'Neal PSA 9? And look, I got my vault pulled up and I've searched Shaquille O'Neal. So the secret's out, right? I've sold almost all of my Shaquille O'Neal collection. It was actually a pretty damn good Shaq PC. I'm down to 16 cards. A bunch of these are actually set pieces that I'm holding on to, like this Scoring Kings PSA 10. That's part of my set, so I'm not selling them. And then there's some, you know, little chintzy cards as well, like some base PSA 10s and stuff like that are parts of sets. But one thing that I did have for sale is this monster right here. This is a beautiful card. It's the 1997 EX 2001 Jambalaya die cut. It's a PSA 9, great coloring, great centering, you know, for a jambalaya. That's always the issue. It's a pop 10. There are 7 PSA 10s out there, but this is a PSA 9. And I reached out to David and I was like, look, are you sure you don't want to get a deal done for this? And I was like, I'm looking for $4,500, and y'all can go look it up on Card Ladder, right? That I'm just going to throw some numbers out there, but these are the numbers. And he's like, you know what? I'd do it for $4,000. And I was like, David, you caught me at a very serious moment of weakness. I'm so Jordan-centric. I'm so hyper-focused on growing my Jordan collection. You've got a deal. Well, my card is sitting in my PSA vault. David wants the card in his hands at his shop or his house. And so here is how I will get that card to him, the same way as if it was sitting in my office right here within 5 feet of me. You're going to click the button next to the card. And of course, look, this is what it's insured for, right? This is when it got here. In 2021 is when the card arrived at the vault. There's the submission number when I sent it from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to the vault. It was archived on July 1st, 2021. 2021, so it's been sitting there for a little over 2 years. It's insured for $4,500. These insured values change over time. PWCC actually looks through and changes those over time. It hasn't been reappraised since April 13th, 2022, but look, some of these in June of 2023, they reassessed, this Shaquille O'Neal PSA 7 Fusion for whatever reason. So they will update those from time to time and make sure that insured value changes. It's not a precise measurement, but it does give you a general idea of what your cards are worth. So David and I got a deal done for this card for $4,000, which is probably a great deal for him. So I have checked off this card. I am going to go scroll up here to where it says actions, and then you can sell it. If I wanted to sell this on the weekly and I didn't get the deal done with David, it is absolutely that easy. I'm going to click sell items. We'll do another video on that. It's super easy. I can share it. I just want to create a shareable link and show David the card. If I wanted to do that, I could do that. Another easy thing I could do is just right click, copy, paste on my phone and send him pictures of the front and back right away. That's super easy. You can establish a new folder where you can actually move all your Shaq cards into one folder, move all your Jordan cards into this folder. And that is what I'm talking about when I say the PWCC Fanatics Vault is more than just a place to keep cards safe. It can be an inventory management system. And again, these are my babies. These are not just widgets, right? These are not just assets. These are not nuts and bolts. These are actual living, breathing cards that have a purpose and a meaning, and everything that's in here matters, to me at least. You can edit the owner value. In other words, you can, instead of relying on your insured value, as a rough estimate of what your collection's worth, you can actually assign what you think the card's worth. If you're one of these nerds, if you're even nerdier than me, and you're going to be hitting Card Ladder or Market Movers every day to update your collection and all that, you want to go in here and change the value of the card, go for it. Easy. Done. Here's what we're going to do. Ship. You can also pick it up in person, but as I've learned last week, it is a long-ass way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Oregon. You can check the card out, ship the items to yourself, and return it back to the vault with no fulfillment fees. You could transfer ownership, and this is a beautiful option for the PWCC Fanatics Vault. If you are buying and selling, or trading, or buying and selling with another PWCC Fanatics Vault member, it's a click of a button away, and it's an instant transfer. It's an instant transfer. If David had a PWCC Vault account and he wanted that card, I would go to ownership transfer. I would go boom. I would move it from my account to his, and it's his. No shipping, no insurance, none of that stuff. Okay. And then you can also just export it. You can export it to an Excel spreadsheet. Let's say I wanted to take all my Shaquille O'Neal cards. I could click all of them. There's a click all button right here. It's a minus right now because I've clicked one, but you can select all on this page and ship my whole Shaquille O'Neal collection. I could cut and paste it, basically export it into an Excel spreadsheet. Then you could upload that into a Google Sheet, and then you can share it and manage it, modify it, do whatever you want with it. So lots of millions of ways that your vault can be sort of that hub of how you kind of organize and control your collection and reassess what you have, what you want, what you need, where it's at, all that stuff. So we're just trying to ship this card to David Owens with Riverfront Collectibles. So I am going to go, what did I say? Ship. And so I'm going to have to black this out because it's going to show, God dang it. I got to put in my code again. Hang on just a second. I'm going to have to block this out. This is a two-factor verification or authentication or whatever. They just want to make sure that I am the person that owns this. So I'm going off camera to plug in the code from my phone. Okay, so I've clicked ship, and I've actually entered a little code. I just went off camera because, I didn't want you to see my home address. No offense. I love all you guys that are watching, and it's not like I'm very difficult to find if you really wanted to find me, but I wanted to take off my home address, Mrs. Cajun's request. But I also had to put in a code that was sent to my cell phone number to make sure it's actually me that's accessing my account. I think that's that two-factor authentication or whatever they call it. So I put in a little code to make sure I had access to ship a card out of my vault somewhere else. I want to make sure it's actually Cajun Cardboard Brian who's shipping the card from Brian's vault and not just some random Yahoo who somehow got access on my computer and my desktop or whatever. So here we are. So normally it would go to the default address, which would show you what my address is. But if you don't want to request a fulfillment to yourself, right? It defaults to you because most people are thinking, well, you just want the cards shipped to yourself. No, I'm shipping them directly to Riverfront. I don't have to ship the card from my vault to me and then to David. I can ship it straight from my vault to David. And guess what else? If David bought this card off eBay, I could do the same thing. If Freddie Mercury in Tucson, Arizona bought this card on eBay, which I listed on my own at my office using the pictures from the PWCC Vault and then just disclosed on there, card not in hand, it's at the PWCC Vault. It'll ship directly from the PWCC Vault. I could have sold it that way. But this was an in-person, not an in-person deal, but an IG direct message deal that I got done with Mr. David. And so I would put in here, you know, let's just say 1, 2, 3. Let's say Cincinnati Drive. I don't know how to spell it. I think there's actually 2 ways you can spell Cincinnati. I think it's that or something like that. Cincinnati Drive, and let's say he lives in, you know, whatever, Columbus. I have no idea, okay? We put Ohio. Then we put his zip code in there. We fill all this stuff out. We're going to put a phone number in there. I'll put my phone number. I'll put my cell phone number. I do have David's, but I put my cell phone number in there, so if there's any issues, they can call me. The shipping fee is going to be $40. Why is it $40? Damn, that sounds like a lot of money. Well, it's a $4,500 card, okay? So that's why the shipping fee is $40. But you'll see on here my fulfillment fee is $0 because the card's been in my vault forever. And so $4,500 is what the card's insured for. And look, you've got a little note in here. And again, I'll just put in David's mailing address, fictitious mailing address. This shipment will be insured for this amount. If you wish to have a higher valuation, cancel this request and reach out directly to PWCC, which is very simple to do. This will create a request to fulfill the selected items. Once this request has been completed, the items will be removed from your list of curated items, meaning it's going out of my vault and it's going through the air on an airplane to David's address. The items will still be shown under your vault item history. And this is what's cool. So you've got something in your PWCC Vault called Vault Item History. It shows you every card that has ever passed through your vault. Even cards that I sold 5, 6, 7 years ago still show up in my vault history. So if you really want to go cry over spilt milk and some cards you sold too early that may be worth buku money right now, you can go do that. Or maybe you sold it at the right time and you just want to gloat and say, haha, look what I sold this Zion Silver Prism for. Look what it's worth today, right? It works both ways. It cuts both ways. A couple of interesting notes. The shipment will be insured for the amount stated above. That is the maximum amount that can be claimed. In other words, if this gets lost, misplaced, whatever, and you wish to have a higher valuation, you got to contact the staff, like it says right there as well. Packages shipped via FedEx to third-party receiving centers are not covered by PWCC's insurance policy, and vault account holder takes full liability. It is recommended to not ship to one of these receiving centers. Well, that's fine. I'm not. I'm shipping straight to somebody's house or their shop. If you're fulfilling these items to another PWCC Vault account, they're saying, cancel this, and you're going to go do what I told you to do, which is just an ownership transfer, which is instant. You don't need to, you don't insure it for $4,500. You don't pay a shipping fee. You literally just move the card from Vault A to Vault B for the buyer. Be aware that fulfillment invoices must be paid. If there was a fulfillment invoice, in other words, if this card had not been sitting in my account long enough, or maybe there was a fulfillment fee, you would need to pay that right away. If you pay it right away, that's what starts the clock on them shipping your card out. And then they do give you a message. This used to be an issue with PWCC, but no more. These cards are moving relatively quick. Outbound shipping can take up to 3 to 5 business days to process. It has not been taking me 3 to 5 business days. It's been the next day. For me, I'm just giving you my personal experience. I sold a card to a buddy the other day, not even a buddy, just a stranger on Instagram, and I got him the tracking number the next day. So it could take 3 to 5 days. They put that disclaimer out there just to cover their butt, but usually it's going quicker than that. And so you're going to hit I'm not going to create this because I don't want them to take this card out of my vault, but I would hit create right here, and then it would create a request for a shipment, and you would get a little deal that shows up in your summary showing this request was made, and then probably the next day, but maybe the day after, they will provide you with a tracking number. They ship sometimes FedEx, sometimes USPS. It just depends. I mean, sometimes UPS. It just depends. But you're always getting a tracking number. And so all you have to do is go into your PWCC Vault summary, click that tracking number, cut and paste the thing, and then you can send that. If you're doing it on your phone, it's real easy. You just cut and paste it on your phone, then you hit it in IG, and I send it to David and say, David, the card's on its way. Here's the tracking number. Let me know if you don't get it in 24, 48, 72 hours, whatever. And so it's just that easy. The reason I'm showing you guys this is because I think a lot of people are intimidated, and they think, well, I don't want to put my cards in the vault. What if I want to sell them on eBay? What if I want to sell them to somebody to show? What if I want to sell them to somebody on Instagram or Facebook? This makes it easier. You don't have to pack the card. You don't have to ship the card. They do all the work for you. Just like when you send cards to sell on the listing on the weekly auction, they do all the work for you. So once again, somebody else is doing my work for me that I don't want to do, because right now, going through this cross-country collection and buying and selling and trying to grow my Jordan collection and being a father of a bunch of kids and getting to sports practices and trying to be a husband to my wife and trying to run 2 or 3 or 4 businesses like I do here in Baton Rouge, I don't have time to ship cards. And so I'm clicking a few buttons. I've talked about this. What is this? We're at the 15-minute mark. But if I wanted to just send the thing, it would have been done in 60 seconds, right? And I would have sent the tracking number to David, boom, boom, we're done, just like a dealer at a casino. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys how easy it was to ship a card from your vault to yourself. Obviously, we'd go straight to the default address. Or you could ship it to somebody who has traded with you or bought your card, and then you share the tracking number via Instagram or text or however you were communicating with those people, email, doesn't matter. It can be somebody who bought it on eBay. And on eBay, you would send it straight to the eBay address that you've got for the eBay authentication services thing. It would go straight to the authentication thing with a tracking number, just like it would if I shipped it from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, straight to the eBay authentication service thingy or whatever it's called. So that's it. Sorry, I'm not the most eloquent, but I figured screen sharing and just showing you guys just how easy it is, like it's so easy a Cajun can do it, then you guys can certainly do it as well. I think vaulting is not for everybody. I say that all the time, but I think there are a lot of aspects and a lot of pros to vaulting that a lot of people don't realize how easy it is to get in and out of cards. If you're one of those people who is sending cards, bringing cards in and sending cards out, the vault really makes a lot of sense, because it eliminates and alleviates a lot of needless time wasting and lets somebody else do it. And you can see all you're paying is $40 to ship a $4,000 card, which is about what I would pay. I'd probably pay more than that if I was shipping it myself from my office via FedEx Priority Overnight. It'd probably be $100 or something like that, right? Because you want to make sure it's insured, and you want to make sure it gets there, and you want to make sure it gets there quickly. So why not let somebody else do all the work for you? And I have had great success doing it this way. If I wanted to sell the cards in my weekly auction, it's even easier, right? If I wanted to sell the cards in the PWCC Fanatics weekly auction, we'll do another video on that where I show you how to do that. But if you've got a private transaction done, the fact that your card's in the vault doesn't slow things down. It actually speeds things up. So just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully this all made sense. If you have any questions about this process, certainly feel free to reach out to me. I do want to reiterate, if you're thinking of using the PWCC Vault, I'm easily accessible and certainly always open to discuss and explain anything you want. We can do it on the phone. You can do it by Instagram, direct message, whatever. I believe in this product. I believe in PWCC and Fanatics because for me, it's indispensable. I could not be where I'm at with my collection without it. I just couldn't do it. I don't have enough time in the day. I've got to enlist the help of others, third parties. PWCC Fanatics helps me do that. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention, if you're thinking of vaulting and you want to create a free, yes, did I say free? Free vault. Free vault. Just if you want to put a card in it, put it in there. If you don't, create the free vault anyway, so it's there as an option. If you ever send things to your vault or you send things to PWCC Fanatics to sell on the weekly or the premier auction, then please consider using the promotional code Cajun, C-A-J-U-N, all capital letters. When you do that, it helps support my YouTube channel and what I'm trying to grow here. Again, I am not here to preach to the masses. I don't talk about baseball cards. I don't talk about football. I don't talk about hockey. I don't talk about the sports of tennis and golf. I don't talk about comic books or I have a pretty small niche here, so I really need a pretty high retention rate and a really high level of engagement, considering the number of people that actually watch my channel. The subscriber number on my channel is never going to be 10,000 or 20,000. It just doesn't work that way, because I'm not talking about things that 20,000 people give a damn about. I'm talking to you guys specifically who collect basketball cards, predominantly the types of cards that I collect, that care about buying high and buying low, selling high, investing, but also collecting, set collecting, Jordan, 90s stuff, 80s stuff, a pinch of vintage, a pinch of ultra modern, but you guys get the point. Like, I'm making these videos for people that are somewhat like me in the hobby, or who are interested in learning how they can grow their collection quicker, more efficiently. So hopefully this video helped. As always, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Cajun_cardboard. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.